Going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pick Six channel, and today we will be talking Steelers quarterback situation. Now, I'm not a fan of this quarterback situation that they have right now. I'm not. The quarterbacks they have right now are Skylar Thompson, Mason Rudolph. Not ideal. Not ideal. Not ideal one bit. All right. But let's break it down completely. So, first things first. Personally, what I would have done is try to bring back Justin Fields. For one, he was going to be cheap. How do I know that? Because he signed with the Jets and he's getting 20 million a year, which for a quarterback in today's NFL, 20 million is not a lot. Okay, it is not a lot. I mean, we have quarterbacks getting paid 60 million nowadays. So 20 million is not that much. But they didn't get him. Honestly, the organization showed that they didn't trust him, or Mike Tomlin showed that they didn't trust Justin Fields. So I don't really blame him for leaving or for walking away. And from my understanding, they were going to give him a good contract, anyways. A very team friendly contract, whatever that means, whatever the amount is, I don't know. I would say like 10 million, maybe 15. I'm not exactly sure though. I mean, those details never really got put out to the public, so we don't know. So since they did do that, honestly, that would have been the best option in my opinion, maybe. But so that didn't go through. Then that's when they decided to get Mason Rudolph because they got Skylar Thompson. The first thing they did in free agency for the quarterback situation is get Skylar Thompson. It's just for depth, so I don't hate it too much. All right, he was backup quarterback for the Dolphins for some years, played in a AFC wild card game, playoff game. Didn't do too bad. All right, I'm not saying he's a great quarter. I'm not saying he's the best option that the Steelers could have gotten. Personally, I would have gotten Jameis Winston, but hey, it is what it is, right? Then they got Mason Rudolph, and doing that did put you in a tough situation, in a tough spot. Now, there's nothing wrong with Mason Rudolph. I actually like that they got Mason Rudolph. Familiar face. Last time he played on the team, he played pretty well. So I don't hate it one bit. What I do not like is the fact that the Steelers are trying to get Aaron Rodgers. I don't get it. I don't. Okay. It all comes back to last season. This has everything to do with last season. Why? Because the Steelers tried the same exact thing. They tried the same exact thing. Russell Wilson, Super Bowl winning quarterback, trying to reprove himself in the league. You picked him up hoping that he would turn you into a Super Bowl contender. That didn't happen. What happened was the same exact thing that happened the year before when you had Mason Rudolph, Mitch Trubisky, and Kenny Pickett on the quarterback room. You went 10-7 and you were first round exits. The same exact thing happened. When Russell Wilson was supposed to elevate you to that Super Bowl contender level, and that did not happen. It looked like it almost happened. It could have happened, but it didn't. And those are just the facts. So, in saying that, it makes no sense to try to do the same thing again. If it didn't work last season, why are you going to try to do the same exact thing? And yeah, last season, I don't think it was rebuilding. I don't think it was a rebuilding season. People are saying that the roster was like really bad. I don't think so. Granted, it's not the Philadelphia Eagles roster, but it was still a pretty decent roster. Except for the wide receiver core, maybe. Offensive line got banged up. I mean, that kind of stuff just happens. So that's why I'm not a fan of bringing either or in there. what the best thing to do, since you're in the situation that you're in, is to have Mason Rudolph as your quarterback one. I understand it's not the best thing in the world, but you know what? The organization never gave him a chance. They didn't. They only gave him a chance because I mean their backs were against the wall completely in the 2023 season. You know, their trust in Kenny Pickett kind of fell apart, it seemed like. Mitch Trubisky was not playing good football. So that's why they decided to go to Mason Rudolph. Because everything within the quarterback's stage was falling apart. So that's why they went to Mason Rudolph. So that's why I think Mason Rudolph going into the season should be quarterback one. What else should they do? Because they're gonna have to do something else. That is draft a quarterback. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're gonna have to trade up for it or what, but things need to change. Things need to get done. And the Steelers are not at a point where they're a quarterback away from winning the Super Bowl. There's still flaws in the roster. So they're they're gonna need a guy that's gonna be there for the next decade, decade and a half. They're not gonna find it with Aaron Rodgers. They're not gonna find it with Russell Wilson. They're gonna find it with someone in the draft. So I don't know. I mean, Jackson Dart is projected to go to Pittsburgh. I'll be honest, I'm not too familiar with his game. People are speak highly within Steeler Nation on Jackson Dart, but we'll see. I mean, we still don't know if Tomlin could, um, if he could develop a quarterback. That's, I mean, he's been head coach for a long time, and we still don't have the answer to that, which is crazy. But that's the best thing to do in this situation. Not go for Aaron Rodgers, not go for Wilson. Keep Rudolph as your quarterback one because for one, I feel like he's earned it with the Steelers. I do. Why not? Let him know. I mean, you signed him to 2 years. Let him know that, hey, you're going to be our guy for the next year or so. Maybe 1, maybe 2 years. And we're going to try to develop this guy behind you. And if everything goes well at the end of your contract, you could probably go elsewhere and find a starting job there. That would be the best thing to do. Are they going to do that? I don't know. And if they don't, if they get Rodgers, all that shows to me is that they're not going to change. They're not trying to change. That's what that's going to show it to me. So, what do you guys think on this quarterback situation? What should they do? And where do they go from here? Can they really be a Super Bowl contender with Aaron Rodgers? Can they really be a Super Bowl contender with Wilson? Which I think we've already seen that already, but oh well. I mean, like I said, the Steelers offense does have more weapons. All right. They do. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Man, I don't know. I don't know. I am not convinced in this whole situation. I'm not a fan of it, but I guess we're just going to have to see. We're just going to have to wait and see. So that's it on this video. Appreciate you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys later. And go Steelers.